Testing, testing.
So here's the chalice lighting words.
Okay.
And I do the welcome, and at the end of the welcome, I say each one of us is a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light. I'm sure you maybe remember me saying that before, and then that's your cue to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then your words will be here, and you want to just I'm sure the mic's gonna pick you up fine, but
Okay.
just
Yeah. Wow.
just to make sure. Well, just
Yeah. I don't have to get very close at all.
it will pick up, but just imagine you're talking to the back of the room.
Sure.
That's what I do.
Cool. Sounds good.
And then after we have the opening hymn, and you can either stand up here and sing with me, or you can be seated. Your choice.
Okay.
And I'll introduce the hymn. So,
Okay, cool.
You're like, wait, I don't see it on there.
Yeah, it's not on the sheet. No,
Thank you.
I'll bring the book up.
Maybe your jacket is a hand Maybe you've dated half of your hometown. In a world of circles, maybe you're just around. You can't be everybody's cup of tea. Some like the bitter, some like the sweet. Nobody's everybody's favorite, so you might as well just make it how you please. 'Cause you can't be everybody's cup of tea. Maybe you're working in a hotel bar. Maybe you're still driving your high school car. Maybe you still just don't know who you are. You can't be everybody's cup of tea. Some like the bitter, some like the sweet. Nobody's everybody's favorite, so you might as well just make it how you please. Oh, you can't be everybody's cup of tea. Maybe you marry the wrong person first. Maybe your hair's way too long. Or your sister's in jail, or maybe you failed out of college, but hey, life goes on. And we've all got the right to be wrong, 'cause you can't be everybody's cup of tea. Some like it black, some like it green. Nobody's everybody's favorite, so you might as well just make it how you please. You can't be everybody's cup of tea. Oh, why would you want to be?
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the long-timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena, and from the heart of our homes, we're really delighted to welcome our friends on live stream this morning. It is really, really good to start 2024 with you all. And in this month, yay, Hans is loving 2024. And this month in January in worship, we'll be surrendering into self-care. And for the next few weeks, we'll be delving into self-care of ourselves, self-care of justice, self-care of one another, and self-care of our communities. If you're new to Throop, we would love to stay in touch with you. You can fill out the info card in the pew back in front of you and give it to an usher a little later in the worship service. And happy Sunday to each and every one of you. Each one of us is a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Morning, everyone. Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame from our candles of hope and witness. The light of our flame beckons us into 2024, yet there is so much life stretching before us, and there's still so much we have not said our goodbyes to. In this brief pause, may all our senses be awakened, giving us courage to turn from what was and to embrace all that will be. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop is the unceded land of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Meshin Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead into dismantling systems of supremacies and oppressions. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And into the silence and into those intentions, we sing our opening hymn, Wake Now My Senses. It's number 298 in the Great Hymnal. And I invite you all to rise and sing out as your body and spirit allow, number 298.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Here with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime.
Turn gently to your neighbor and welcome them into worship. This month we are looking at various aspects of self-care. And for many, though not all, but many Unitarian Universalists, an element of caring for your soul, of caring for yourself, happens when you are out in the natural world, when you're surrounded by nature. And nature isn't something that is separate from us. It's not its own entity out there with its very own identity. Of course, nature is a part of us, and we are part of nature. And every week we remind ourselves of this elemental connection. We remind ourselves of our promise to care for Earth and care for ourselves by sharing together the words of our promise to our planet, and those are in the order of worship. As members of the family of living beings on Earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, with hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources. We promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself. And this month, as we think about how we tend to our spirit and soul, our congregational response to the responsive reading is help us slow down and surrender into self-care. That's in the order of worship, and let's say it together. Help us slow down and surrender into self-care. And our responsive reading is Transcendental Etude by Adrian Rich, and I thank you, Matthew, for leading us today.
No one ever told us that we had to study our lives, make of our lives a study, as if learning natural history or music.
Help us slow down and surrender into
self-care.
self-care.
No one ever told us that we should begin with the simple exercises first and slowly go on trying the hard ones, practicing till strength and accuracy become one, with the daring leap to transcendence.
Help us slow down
and surrender into self-care. And in fact, we can't live like that. We take on everything at once before we've even begun to read or mark time. We're forced to begin in the midst of the hardest movement, the one that's already sounding as we are born.
Help us slow down and surrender into self-care. Thank you. I missed you all last week. I thank Terry Trindler for leading you all in a letting go and taking in worship last Sunday. I'm so happy for us to start the new year together. And this past week, I read about a ritual from another Unitarian Universalist religious professional, a ritual that she does with some friends of hers. And this ritual is called Toast, Boast, and Oath. And I thought, what better way for us to begin the new year together than by us doing it here in the sanctuary. So unfortunately, we don't have a big bonfire to gather around, but we do have the light of our beautiful chalice, so we can imagine. I mean, we don't even imagine. We are gathered kind of around it. And then I'm sad to say that I don't have anything here that we can use to toast. Darn it. I know Hillary wants to go check the fridge right now. There's probably something hiding in there from last Mother's Day, but we'll leave it for next Mother's Day. I mean, it's only a few months away at this point. But I'm happy to say we can pretend that we have something in our hands to toast each other with. So I am holding a beautiful crystal coupe, and it's full of bubbling ice cold pear cider. What are you holding, Charles? And Max, what are you holding there in your hand? Ooh, kombucha. All right, Steve, you're actually holding something, but does it symbolize something else, or what's going on there in your hand? You come to the end of your creativity. That I do not believe, not at all. Okay, so let's hold it up high. We'll toast to the glorious fact that we're spending the first Sunday in 2024 together. And in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to get in groups of 3 or 4. Lynn Costello, I already apologized to you for this. And when you're in your group, I'll ask you to share 3 things in your group. The first one is your toast. And the toast is gratitude for someone in your life. And so you'll just simply say that name of that person. And then you get to have a boast. And then you get to share in your group something that you feel really proud about in the past year. Maybe you came to church every single Sunday in the past year. Maybe you made your bed every day for the past year. I don't know what your boast is, but something that you feel really good about. And then the next one is an oath. And it's just one word of an emotion, an idea, something that you want to hold in your heart for the year to come. So, who remembers what these 3 things are? George. Oh, wait, he already doesn't know. Wait a second. Ian. Hey, toast and a boast and an oath. All right. And if you're home and watching online and you want to put your toast and your boast and your oath in the chat, please do. So on your mark, get set, find a group of 3 or 4.
What's my toast? Okay, let's see. And a boast. I think I'm coming into my own in my career, which is nice. Yeah. I think so. To finally be like, wow, I know what I'm doing, and like, my boss and I are peers now, which is really weird. I know. Oh my gosh. I will be, remind me as we get closer to the date, but I will be crossing more fingers than I have. Like, I'm going to be turning my fingers into knots. Oh. Advocacy. I think I've been better for myself over the last year, so I think it's time to turn it for others. I like that. It sounds like, yeah, you need that too. Thank you, too.
can finish up that last bit of sharing with your group. And I hope you can continue these connections after worship and coffee hour. And the youngest ones among us will continue their own connections in their Kids Dig In program. And I'd like to thank Jamie and Faith for leading that program this morning. And each Sunday we joyfully sing them into Kids Dig In, and those words are in the order of worship.
For you shall go out in joy. For you shall go out in joy and come back in peace. And come back in peace. For you shall go out in joy. For you shall go out in joy and come back in peace. And come back in peace. Blessed be.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Clara, and I'm reading a poem by Jane Hirschfeld. A person protests to fate. A person protests to fate. The things you've caused me most to want are those that furthest elude me. Fate nods. Fate is sympathetic. To tie the shoes, button a shirt, are triumphs for only the very young, the very old. During the long middle, conjugating a rivet, mastering tango, training the cat to stay off the table, preserving a single moment longer than this one, continuing to wake whatever has happened the day before, and the penmanship's love practices inside the body.
I can hold my breath, and I can bite my tongue. I can stay awake for days if that is what you want. Be your number one. And I can fake a smile. I can force a laugh. I can dance and play the part if that is what you ask. Give you all I am. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. But I'm only human. And I bleed when I fall down. I'm only human. And I crash and I break down. Your words in my heart, knives in my head. You build me up and then I fall apart. 'Cause I'm only human. I can turn it on. Be a good machine. I can hold the weight of worlds if that is what you need. Be your everything. I can do it. I can do it. I'll get through it. But I'm only human. And I bleed when I fall down. I'm only human. And I crash and I break down. Your words in my head and knives in my heart. You build me up and 'cause I'm only human, and I bleed when I fall down. I'm only human, and I crash and I break down. Your words in my head, knives in my heart. You build me up and then I fall apart, 'cause I'm only human.
You all support this church community where you can roll in here and just be as human as you need to be, no matter what complex things are going on in your lives in any given week. You all support this church community through your gifts of time and talent and treasure. Thank you so much for that. If you're able to offer a donation today, you can do that online. You can, those ways to do that are in the order of worship. You can also offer a gift here in the room. Thank you, Hans, for passing the offering plate. If you're a first-time visitor, please let the plate pass you by. The offering will now be gratefully received.
When my free spirit onward leads, well, there shall be my way. By my own light illumined, I've journeyed night and day. My age of time-worn cloak I wear, as once I wore my youth. I celebrate life's mystery, I celebrate death's truth. My family is not confined to mother, maid, and child, but it includes all creatures, be they tame or be they wild. My family upon this earth includes all living things, on land or in the ocean deep, or borne aloft on wings. The ever-spinning universe, well, there shall be my home. I sing and spin within it, as through this life I roam. Eternity is hard to ken, and harder still is this. A human life, when truly seen, is briefer than a kiss.
Our worship services help us hold so many aspects of our lives, which are briefer than a kiss, it seems, at times. And worship happens with the help of many different people each and every Sunday. I'd like to thank Brad for running the live stream today. Our greeters and ushers were Cynthia, Hans, Joy, Isla, and Hayo. Our youngest greeter, you can greet at any age, clearly. And I'd like to thank our readers this morning, Max and Matthew and Clara. I thank Faith and Jamie for leading the children's program, Tom for getting here and getting coffee going for our coffee and conversation after the worship service. I'd like to thank Hillary for all of your good humor and administrative support during the week. I couldn't do it without you. And Megan, also, we couldn't do worship without you. Thank you for your inspired music leadership. and for all the ways that we support our church and that we send our resources out into the world. And I'd like to ask you to share the response to the offering, and those words are in the order of worship. For the ministries of the church and our community, we bless our offering with love and hope. And with that sense of love and hope running through us, I invite you to take a breath in as we get ready to sing our centering hymn. And to exhale. And we'll be singing an intention to open our heart. It's number 1013 in the teal hymnal. And as we join our voices together, perhaps you can imagine actual physical things you can do in your body to help open up that heart space. I know so often if I'm driving or standing in line or at the computer, I notice that my shoulders are hunched up or over. It's kind of hiding my heart. So maybe in the next few days, if you notice you are doing that, you can just gently put your shoulders on your back and just let your heart energy shine forward into 2024.
Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give.
Holding that sense of love in our hearts, I invite you to take another breath in together and to exhale, easing yourself into a sense of stillness, a sense of quiet. We hear sounds of the world around us. We steady our hearts. Breath of life and breath of love. Slowly, surely, seconds of light swell as the sun dips later each day. We surrender ourselves into the first days of the new year, pliable, pliant. Please, whatever you do, don't use the word resilient. We peer into blank calendar pages, scooping up the shreds left behind, tossing them into the heap of what once was. One more minute of light means one more minute to open our hearts to all that was, is, will be. One more minute of light each day. Will it illuminate more of who I am, more of who I want to be? My soul, my body, my breath falls toward the uncertainty of what will be desperate to know, yet settling for those few extra seconds of light. We breathe gently into shared stillness, pondering all that is our life. And for all that is our life, we give our thanks and praise. Amen.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown 'em out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. We'll fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. We're bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are warriors, yeah, that's what we've become. I won't let them break us down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown 'em out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. And I know that I deserve this love, and there's nothing I'm not worthy of. This is me.
With the start of the calendar year, we are supposed to be ready to reach for the sun. We are supposed to be ready to embrace all sorts of new intentions and become the very best we can be. Did you all create resolutions for 2024? Anyone out there? I'm seeing a nod. Yeah, anybody want to say what they were? Did they feel private? I see someone's like, I am not telling you what mine is. Anyone? Anyone want to share? George.
I will ride my bicycle more often.
George will ride his bicycle more often. George, I don't know if anyone could ride their bicycle more than you already do, though. But I love it. Yes, we accept your resolution. Anyone else want to share what yours is? Taryn.
I'm going to cross-stitch something for myself. I've never made myself anything.
Taryn is going to cross-stitch something for himself because he's never made himself anything. Yes, I love that. And in a nosy kind of way, I hope we all get to see it, or at least I get to see it. All right? Now I know, Charles? Charles is going to make community where he lives now. Charles, of course, broke all of our hearts when he moved without authorization from this church. We didn't give permission to Northern California. He wants to be close to his brother. Charles? That's the first resolution I've ever made. Oh, and that's the first resolution he's ever made. Well, Charles, you made incredible community when you were here, and I can only imagine the people who are going to be so excited to meet you up north. They're really lucky. Well, I know that not everyone in the room raised your hand, and it could be that you didn't want me to call your name out from the pulpit, which is totally valid. And it might be that you just didn't have it in you yet to make any kind of resolution. I see a nod to that. This year, maybe for the very first time, I fell into that category. Oh my Lord, I just wasn't ready to flip the calendar, and I was not ready to let go of whatever movement or energy still had hold of me at the last full moon. Some part of me, I haven't left last year yet. So I was especially delighted last week when I read that there was a time in the world that these next 8 weeks that we're in, that they used to not have a name. They were just time. At one point over 2,000 years ago, the calendar year started in March. And even though there were 12 months, only 10 months had names. And this time we're in right now was considered a dead period where nothing happened. What? 8 weeks where nothing's gonna happen? Are you kidding me? That's what I want for winter solstice gift next year. Back when European humans shaped their time a little bit differently, the calendar year started on the 1st of March. And some months were given Latin names, and they indicated where in the year they fell. So September was the 7th month from March. We won't notice that someone in here is maybe worse at math than I am. Steve. October was the 8th. Oh, November was and December, ta-da, you got it, Steve. Imagine today if we still considered January and February to be fallow months. What if these next 8 weeks really just didn't have any name? We couldn't write checks. We couldn't schedule appointments. We couldn't even make a to-do list in our little notebook because what would we put at the top of it? Nothing. What if for the next 8 weeks, the only thing that was really expected of us was to go inward? What if the only thing expected of us was to rest? What if the only thing expected of us was just, you know what? This is your time to recover from the frantic holiday season. That would feel so good. What if we took a cue from what is going on in the natural world during the winter months? What if we let ourselves go dormant, letting the pathways of our hearts and souls dig deep into our innermost soil? What if we reached for nourishment, replenishing ourselves, just getting ready for growth that's going to happen in the springtime? And there, in the still moments of our days, quietly watching as one more minute of light appears, slowly illuminating the writing on our hearts. Most of us live at a pace that creates anxiety, overwhelm, and exhaustion. And to counter that, we get messages that say, take a time out and enjoy a self-care day. So I'm all for taking time out, but the way self-care is packaged to us, it seems trendy and commodified and expensive. Whether it's Instagram or ads or streaming shows, so many depictions of self-care are connected to wealth and capitalism. We get these messages that say you can buy your way into a sense of well-being and calm and ease. All you have to do is buy this expensive bottle of champagne and these ridiculously expensive bath oils and just sit there for as long as your family or friends will let you. And then when you emerge, everything's going to be okay. Or they tell us, you know what? Take a spa day. You deserve it. And when you get in there, choose all the extras. I take the aromatherapy. I take the hot stones. I take the exfoliating, whatever they're going to do. Bring it all in and charge it on my card. Thank you. Subscription self-care boxes that are sent right to your front door every month. I am not denigrating these things. No, no, no. By all means, if you want to send me a self-care box to my front door every month, oh Lord, I would love it. I will thank you in the newsletter. I mean, I love going to the spa day. I do. And a bath with champagne? I mean, come on. Who's going to say no to that? Could also be pear cider. Doesn't have to be champagne. But the thing is, spiritual practice, spiritual self-care is a practice. It's not a purchase. And self-care goes beyond just feeling good in that one moment, but then going back to exactly the same kind of life that sent you to the bathtub or the spa or to ordering that self-care box in the first place. Spiritual self-care comprises actions that help create an integrated sense of self. And it's practices of yours that help you clarify and appreciate who you are on the inside, and that help you clarify what your actions are going to be out in the world, that help you live out who that person is in here. Right? It's creating this sense of personal integrity. Who you are is what you do. Spiritual self-care helps you bring into focus essential functions of your soul. And Parker Palmer, who's a Quaker writer and activist, he identifies 4 essential functions of our souls. One is the soul wants to keep us rooted in the ground of our own being. Our soul wants to keep us rooted in the who we are rather than what it is we're doing to keep ourselves busy. And a second essential function of the soul is that it wants us to stay connected with communities that breathe life into us, not that takes life away from us. And a third function is that the soul wants us to tell the truth about ourselves, to tell truths about our world, even when it's really hard, even when it's really difficult to do that. And then the soul wants us to give life. It wants us to give life and pass that life along, to become life givers in a world that we know can take so much out of us. When it comes to self-care, you are the only person who can identify what needs are inside of you that need tending to. And Lord knows sometimes it is really hard to uncover what those are. And that's where a therapist or a friend or a church community, someone who can really be with you in some of the messiness of your life, someone who can look right at you into your eyes and hear what it is your soul needs you to say and what your soul most needs you to do to tend to it. If you realize that your core need is connecting with other people, if you realize a core need is just getting out into nature and just breathing in the fragrance of the trees, then buying a facial mask at the store, while it may feel good in the moment, it's not going to meet that intrinsic need that you have. And it takes time and attention to find out what your heart and soul are longing for. And so these weeks that we're in now, the beginning of the calendar year, eventually, clearly, someone decided to give them names. January was named after Janus, the Roman god of beginnings and transitions. And February's name is believed to stem from an ancient festival that was dedicated to ritual springtime purification. But I really prefer the idea of these being empty months. And so for me, what my soul needs this year is for me to rename these next 8 weeks. I was thinking maybe I'll name these next 6 weeks Souluary. But then I thought, no, you know what it really should be named? Spirit Ember. Ooh, Spirit Ember, I like that. The glowing fragments of our spirits just gently casting off enough light and warmth to guide us into whatever is coming in this new year. So if you have created ambitious regimes of resolutions and intentions, I hope you'll also give yourself space to nurture whatever embers are glowing within you. And if you haven't gotten around yet to making any resolutions, then come with me. Because I've decided this year I am waiting until March 1st to do this. And when we get there, I may just follow the lead of one of the New York Times cooking editors. She lifted up in an email this week one of the best resolutions I think I've ever heard. Maybe we should do these things together. Eat as many different shapes of pasta as possible in the year to come. Try a new fruit every single month. And whenever you see a child, smile. I think I can do that. May this year lift you up, and may your heart and spirit be filled with joy and silliness and a sense of adventure. Welcome into Spirit Ember, my friends. Welcome. And we sing together, Go Lift It Up, number 1057 in the teal hymnal. And I invite you all to rise as body and spirit allow as we sing together.
Go lift it up, God bless your way. Moonlight, star.
place a hand on your heart and reach out to someone in the room or on the live stream. Our chalice is extinguished. We carry its light with us. May it guide you in today's of love and silliness, adventure and joy. Happy Spirit Ember. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen and blessed be.
Oh, fun spirit. So you gotta do when you do. Spirit says do. It does, doesn't it? Oh, I think you're actually in the Betty Boop thing because I look a little like Betty Boop lately with this going on. Like,